This video is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online. Whether you're just starting out or managing a growing brand, Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website, engaging with your audience, and selling anything from products to content to time, all in one place and on your terms. Hey Spuds, it's Jamie. Welcome back to another video, first video on the channel. I don't know, but welcome either way. I'm very glad to have you here, and today we are looking at the wonderfully horrible subreddit of BadWomensAnatomy. Oh yes, the place full of misogyny. So obviously we know that not all women have the same anatomy and you don't need certain anatomy to be a woman, but this subreddit is posts and things said, and let's face it, mostly by cis straight men that are aimed towards people specifically because they are women. I hope you're gonna enjoy it. Shall we get on with it? Lol, my mum had a C-section. I know how dangerous childbirth is. It's not. This must be a cis man being like,
this thing that I will never experience and never have to go through, it's not dangerous.
Although he's talking about danger and not pain, I still think he should be hooked up to one of those like labor simulation pain things. That would be great. What? I'm a woman and no, I don't shave my face. Just because you don't means others don't? Well, that's weird. Women shouldn't grow facial hair. I like the hello, I am man and I am stating that women should not grow facial hair, therefore it shall be. Whatever I say shall come true. And it's like, why? Who said that? How did she move where her hair was growing from? And then just Taylor Swift with a slightly different parting. I feel like this is just generally bad anatomy, like his hair. Bad hair anatomy. Isn't there something about when you get a cut creating the parting, and there is kind of like a place where partings more naturally fall, but you can part your hair wherever, right? Why does somebody think that her hair grows from a different place? That would imply that your hair literally grows out your head in one big block, literally just out like that with one line down the middle or the side, wherever it may be. It's not the first time I've seen somebody say this about a celebrity woman who has photos where her hair is parted differently. It's like, if we could not part our hair in different places, there would be a very limited amount of hairstyles that could be done. Sometimes you can have no parting. Yeah, get your brain round that. What is the difference between the body hair on a woman and on a man? I don't know. I don't think there really is one. One is naturally occurring with a reproduction system and hormones, and the other is not natural and showing a sign of something being wrong with their hormones. This whole narrative of like body hair on women is unnatural is so bizarre. Every single person, unless they have something that means that they don't have any hair, every single person will grow body hair. There is nothing wrong with your hormones because you're a woman who has like leg hair or armpit hair. It's gonna happen. It's just this big expectation on women to appear as though they do not grow body hair, and it's a lot of upkeep. It's so bizarre to me that some people genuinely think that any body hair on a woman is not naturally occurring and must be down to an issue. Advertisement. How long does it take to lose stubborn belly with chair yoga according to my age? Calculate. What? Lose your stubborn belly with chair yoga. I mean, isn't the whole thing like, you can't really target where you lose fat. It's just like an overall thing. And it's also obviously, you know, chair yoga aimed towards women, like
lose that stubborn belly fat.
And then the figure in the chair is very interesting proportions. I feel like their head is too small. It's like someone's gone, okay, let me create the ideal womanly shape in my cis man brain. And it's like tiny little head, big boobs, tiny little waist, no belly, and then really big hips and bum. Not entirely common. Oh, and she's wearing high heels. She's wearing high heels whilst doing chair yoga to lose the non-existent stubborn belly. My mum and her best friend were pregnant at the same time. They both were due around the same time, and my mum's best friend wanted to induce labor so they could have their babies on the same day. I feel like babies really don't work great on the schedule that is set out for them. I think it's very rare for a baby to arrive dot on time. I think doing something like this would be very hard to time. Of course, the doctors wouldn't allow it because it wasn't a medical necessity. So the dads built a barn, hay and everything around, and the mums put their birth canals together. What is happening? Obviously this did not happen, but why has somebody even written this? The dads pushed really hard on the bellies and the babies got swapped into each other's uteruses for a minute. It was really close because they had a hard time getting me out of my best friend's mum, and I still remember it to this day. What is that? I hate it. No. Ew. That's all I have. Ew. No. Ugh. The female reproductive system. Satanic ram's head. This explains a lot, says Satan. Explains a lot how. Wow. The female reproductive system looks like a satanic ram's head. Or it could also just be known as a ram's head. And what does that explain? That we're all born from Satan. I mean, that includes you too, men. No. Shaving my legs around my raccoon tattoo so he's hairy. That's adorable. There's so much effort though, but I kind of love it. How did you get this much hair as a female? Why do people not understand? I think this is why like sex ed needs to be comprehensive and for everybody and not segregated. Everybody needs to learn that body hair is almost certainly going to happen for everybody. It doesn't matter whatever puberty you go through, you're going to get some form of body hair. And I don't know why men don't understand that. Why? Oh, an angel but give her boobies that are really high up. They took Perky to a whole other level. Where do these go on the body? And somebody's just gone right under the chin, on the collarbones, so that when the angel's feeling a bit sleepy, head down, built-in cushion. That's what they thought. No, just an observation. But many young women cut their hair around college to change their look. These women can still salvage their appeal because they still often grow it back out. Once a woman hits about 30, if they cut it, it's usually not coming back. It's heartbreaking. Oh, this poor person is so heartbroken over other people's hairstyle. Why? Why is it so sad for you that a woman would want to have short hair? And also, what do you think happens after 30? That hair growth just stops? I don't really understand why they think there's a difference of when it happens in life. Why would anybody care about their opinion on this? Okay, fine, you prefer longer hair on women. Bit bizarre to have a preference on other people's appearance in that way. Whatever, maybe you find that more attractive, but nobody actually cares about your opinion. Don't date a woman with short hair if that's not what you're into. I don't get why it has to be this big attack. Like, oh no.
It's so heartbreaking when they cut their hair after 30 and it just doesn't go back. How dare?
I just want to take a little break from the bad anatomy to fill you in on something. I am back with a new job, a brand new job, because as I mentioned, my guinea pig hairstyling business, the guinea pigs did not need their hair styled. Not enough guinea pigs want a perm, apparently. So now I am venturing into the world of dentistry for dinosaurs. Oh yeah, because dinosaurs are cool, transphobia is not. And I would not have been able to go into this without Squarespace, who handle all of my website needs. When you make a website with Squarespace, brace yourself, because you know it's going to be amazing. Because Squarespace is full of brilliant features. Their website templates make it so easy to design professional looking websites that fit into any category and work on every device. You can customize them and add features to fit your unique needs. And dinosaur dentistry is very unique. Once you've picked your template and gotten your teeth sunk into customizing it, you can utilize Squarespace's password and page lock so that you can keep certain areas private for special visitors, or work on something top secret and all behind a password. Charbonne's actual Squarespace website was super easy and fun to make, and Squarespace's very handy analytics let us check on things like top traffic sources and the geography of site visitors. I love a bit of analytics. You can also get insights on sales metrics and understand how your reach is growing, with Squarespace giving you all the data you need to scale your business. Who said analytics have to be a dino bore? Sorry. Something I personally find super useful about the Squarespace platform is their asset library. This allows you to upload, organize, and access all of your content from one place. So with the asset library, I can manage all of my files from one central hub and use them across the Squarespace platform. So whatever your website idea, if you're looking to build a community, if you're an awesome entrepreneur, or if you want to be a rival dinosaur dentist, then remember that you Jurassic can turn any idea into a website using Squarespace. Drop a comment down below to let me know any other amazing jobs I could be trying out and creating a website around, because honestly, working with Squarespace is an absolute dream. We've used them for our website for years, and I'm excited to be able to talk to you about them. To get started yourself, go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Jammidodger for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. The link's in the description box. Now back to the bad women's anatomy. Ooh. Oh, we have another image that is unrealistic expectations on women's bodies. Wow. I don't think proportionately. I feel like if they put their hand on their stomach, it would almost be as wide. There are certain like fashion companies that are really notorious for strongly editing, particularly women's bodies, to be very unrealistic proportions. This could be very much accentuated by the type of trousers, but I still think just like look at the body in comparison to the shoe. Oh my god, it's here. How did she move where her hair was growing from? And it's Britney Spears. Another one. At this point, cis straight men don't even understand how hair grows. No Hyman, no Diamond. Oh no, I don't want to read the rest of it. But it's basically saying real men don't settle for women who have been with other people before them. No Hyman, no Diamond is not a saying that should ever be a thing. It's so gross. It's such a classic example of pure double standards and no reason for it. Nobody cares how many people men have been with before they get married. It's all about the woman and purity and all of this stuff, and it's just like, go away. Shut up. Hot portable travel bidet. Body and private parts washer tool. Feminine. I'm assuming it was going to say care. You should not do this. This is not necessary. This is so bizarre. It should not exist. Big no. Absolutely not. No, 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 no. This, I get so effing sick of it when women talk about it. One girl said to me, breasts are for feeding babies. I replied, I bet your husband would beg to differ. Well then, her husband would be wrong, just as you are. I was at Chick-fil-A once and trying to eat. I think that says a lot. This woman plops down with her kids and flops out this massive titty that looked like a big 3-litre bottle that got run over by a steamroller.
A bag of sand.
Bag of sand.
You know when you can tell somebody's just so like angry about something, they're so like hepped up, like the adrenaline and the anger and the stress is flowing through them, that they are purposefully completely exaggerating and using all of these words to try and get as much anger out as possible. I get that feeling of anger, I get like going on a rant, but this is really not the kind of thing that should induce this level of anger. Somebody literally feeding their child in a very natural way. I only noticed because as I looked up to see my friend walking in, it was there. Right there. Are you scared or something? Not for a second or so. She was definitely trying to push it to see if people would notice with this look, like, try me. I think she's feeding her child, baby? She's feeding an infant. Can't just go, oh, no, you missed it. Oh, no, missed it. It can't be just out for a second. I just stopped eating one of the most natural things in the world. Not that I judge people who don't breastfeed. There's many different reasons why it doesn't work and it's not right for some people. And somebody's like, I
just couldn't eat. It's right there. So disturbing.
Her kid, who'd had green snot smeared under his nose, is very normal for kids, hopped on it like a frat boy at a kegger, right along with her other kid that looked like he was 2 months away from going off to college, for F's sake, when she popped out the other roadkill tit. Anyway, you can tell it gave me PTSD. I can't stand those vigilante weirdos. Ugh. And I bet you he's the type of person that would call other people a snowflake. You are literally complaining about somebody feeding their children with the absolutely impossible and vastly exaggerated descriptions of this woman's body. I would strongly suspect that the kids were a totally appropriate age to be breastfed. What do you want her to do? You're there to eat. She's there to eat. Her kids are there to eat. What do her kids eat? Something that she is providing from her body, and that is exactly the function of breasts, to feed human babies and infants. If you find that disturbing, then maybe you are still an infant. 1-piece pelvic floor muscle trainer thigh exerciser for postpartum recovery, body shaping leg and butt. Postpartum recovery. Before use, after use. I very much struggle to believe that this piece of equipment closes a gap in hips and realigns a spine. No, this feels a little bit overselling. Top Trump ally Charlie Kirk says birth control screws up female brains and turns women into Democrats. They'll say this, but then on one hand be like, oh no, but it is always the women's responsibility to take the birth control. We should not be looking into ways that mean that men take something that would not impact them. And there are side effects to birth control pills for people. And there are ways in which the other party could be taking something that would prevent accidental pregnancies. But no, it can't be the men that take something. It has to be the women. The very similar people, I don't know this person's exact view on that, but I wouldn't be surprised if the view was also that it was the women's responsibility to take the birth control. But then he sat there going,
oh, but the birth control screws up their brain.
Although then maybe his opinion is just like, no birth control. I don't know. If birth control turned people into Democrats, then let everybody have it. Ask AI, what is the latest standard of care for treating menstrual cramps? Does anyone have them? It is just normally used as an excuse to get out of something one didn't want to do. Again, another perfect example of somebody that needs to be hooked up to a period pain stimulator. They have ones for labor, and then they do ones that simulate the pain of periods and cramps. And I honestly think anybody who is like,
No, not that bad. You're just using it as an excuse. Get on with it. It's not painful. I could deal with that.
let them try. Hook them up, because every time I've seen somebody who doesn't have periods get hooked up to one of these machines, they are
Horrified.
by the level of pain, and they are debilitated by it. Meanwhile, the person sitting next to them who does experience periods is like, what? I can't feel anything. It has to get quite bad for those people to be like, oh yeah, that is a little bit nippy now. POV, you're pregnant and panicking about how painful labor is going to be, but then you learn about God's brilliant design for childbirth and realize your body was designed to block pain receptors during labor. Someone tweeted this going, oh, she's in for a surprise then. Now, see, I'm not saying that there are not some like very skilled people on the planet who can block out pain. I don't know how that works. I think there's some kind of amnesia to do with it, so you don't fully remember, but you're still gonna be in pain. There's a reason why there's medical procedures to ease that pain, and why it is a very difficult thing to experience and go through. But you know, if she wants to believe this, let the shock hit when the labor actually hits, rather than she's panicking for 9 months. I don't know. I'm not mad about this, but I think spreading something that's like,
Oh, no, you won't feel pain when you experience labour and childbirth. It'll all be fine, totally painless.
not the best thing to share and make other people believe. But if she wants to carry on believing that so she's not as worried about it, sure, it's a big thing to go through. Men prefer debt-free virgins with no tattoos. Oh, no.
True or false?
False. Some like misogynistic alpha wannabe men might feel like this, but no. Well, you ain't gonna find no virgin. They're coming out of the womb without... What? I thought it was gonna go somewhere very not safe for YouTube, but they're saying that they're coming out of the womb not virgins because whilst their mums were knocked up with them, they were on dating apps. Yes, there is a lot of pregnant women on dating apps. How does your mum, whilst pregnant with you, being on a dating app, have anything to do with you as a fetus? That does not make sense. Oh. And why would it only affect girl fetuses? What? It's just like... I spoke to Rolly about this in our recent collab. Both of us, for some reason, try to make sense out of the completely irrational and illogical things that some people come up with. And there's just no making sense of it. You just have to read it and go, oh my God, what the hell does this mean? I don't understand because it doesn't mean anything logical, and then move on and not get stuck. Before marriage... After marriage. Oh, this is just bad anatomy all round. Yes, after marriage, men turn into withered shells of themselves, and women have what? Different shoulder shape, put on weight, and have roles. Okay. It's almost like the woman sucks the life force out of the man. I would not be surprised if this is the metaphor behind it. Oh, this is a urinal for women. I guess people without penises. And I'm like, I can't figure out how it would work. And also, because trousers and everything have to be pulled down completely, why somebody would want to use it just out in the open, you know? I can't use a typical urinal. I would not want to use this. I'm not about hopping on that in front of other people. I'm not sure how many people would do that. Yeah, it's not necessarily bad women's anatomy. I don't hate it. I just don't understand in what context it would be used. And I feel like you go on forward, if that makes sense. You face the wall. And maybe that's, you know, you face the wall. You don't see if anybody's looking at you. It's okay. I'm intrigued by how narrow the legs get at the bottom, but that could just be because it's purely one in front of the other. Honestly, these Photoshop jobs of like one dress just being imposed over the top. And then, yes, let's give the tiniest waist, the curviest hips, and then one leg. Nothing wrong with having one leg, but I don't think that was the intention with this model. They're also standing at a very, very angle. Yes. Oh my God, we are doomed. Completely and totally doomed. Why? Miscarriages don't always result in the death of the child. Huh? Do you know what a miscarriage is? Yes, my question is exactly. Yep. Are you sure? You want to think about it for a second? Miscarriage, the expulsion of a fetus from the womb before it is able to survive independently, especially spontaneously or as a result of accident. Death of the baby is not part of the definition. That is being literal to the extreme, and I would be tempted to be like being literal to the point of just being difficult, of like, I don't want to admit I was wrong about this thing, so now I'm gonna pretend this is how I interpreted it. And look, it does not say death of the baby. It's because the fetus leaves the womb before it's able to survive outside the womb. How is that not saying that a death has occurred? This feels very pro-life in the sense that they would consider a teeny clump of cells to be a baby when it's still in like fetal stage, and they're like, well, the baby's not died, the fetus has been expelled, but the baby. Ugh. Imagine being a semi-conscious fetus floating in oblivion when a needle comes out of nowhere and headshots you for the insta-kill because your mother would rather make PowerPoints for $60,000 a year than raise you. I don't think that's how abortions work. That is not, and it is, oh god. I tend to find, tell me if you agree, people with very right-wing views on things like abortion and the LGBT plus community and other bits and pieces tend to have no problem with just completely fabricating things to fearmonger, to get their point across. And it's like, but if you just looked at the truth of a situation, you wouldn't have a reason to think it's a scary thing in the first place, and therefore you wouldn't share the lies about it. I think there's definitely some people who share them knowing that they're lies, but there'll be a lot of people who've just seen it, taken it for truth because they trust the source, not looked into it any further themselves, and then are now spreading it believing it's real. How would a real woman look with Barbie's proportions? Barbie, not to scale. I don't think that was ever the intention of Barbie. Libby, hello Libby, 5'6". Those are her proportions. But if Libby were 5'6" with Barbie's proportions, this is what she would look like. Massive head, everything else tiny. And then Libby with the 28-inch waist from her typical proportions, but having the 28-inch waist being Barbie's proportions, she would be 7'6". Well, that's just an unrealistic expectation. The head is too big if she is an average-ish height, and then 7'6". There are people who are 7'6". It's just not very common. Wow. And even scientifically, we found that, you know, when a man and a woman become one, his sperm goes into a woman, and that his DNA becomes part of her. It actually goes into her brain, and she becomes one with him. I don't know what this is. Where is this from? It looks like it's from a TV show, and the face of the woman looks so disgusted, but yet the woman can't transfer back her DNA back to the man. So it like showed the proof of how Christ was with his church. This is wrong to almost the point of me feeling sorry for him for believing this, because like, who has told him these lies? Who has lied to you so consistently that this is what you believe is true? It literally isn't. It does not happen. It can't happen. It's so bizarre. It just feels like another lie that some man made up at some point to make him sound more powerful and better than women, and it's just awful. I hate it. I only want you, but the brain is filled with lots of man emojis, whereas his brain is just filled with the woman emoji. Sure, Jan, that's really what happens. If she's not a virgin, other men's DNA is still floating inside her. Take a paternity test, and it says the kid is 97% That's impossible. It will say the kid is 50%. 50. That is what happens. That other 3% is from the other men she slept with. Are people okay? They're not okay. What's happening? Oh no. Oh, I hate this so much. Oh god. A vasectomy, yes, a sterilization procedure with a 20% rate of successful reversal. Every woman has the right to a hysterectomy. That has an 80% rate of successful reversal. Does he know what a hysterectomy is? I don't know if 20% is successful reversal. That sounds very low. But on a hysterectomy is a 100% rate of irreversible. Okay? They don't just like tie things off. Things are removed. Is he getting confused with like tied tubes? Because I'm also not sure if that's reversible. So I think tube tying is called tubal ligation reversal, can like untie the tubes, but it's not always successful. So unless he's gotten confused between tube tying and a hysterectomy, either way he's very confused. But a hysterectomy is not reversible. Tube tying is sometimes reversible. There we go. Ta-da. And on that note, that's it. We're finishing up with tube tying. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget to go check out Squarespace. The link is in the description box. As always, think about thumbs upping and subscribing if you want to, but no pressure, and I will see you next time. Much love. Bye.